Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot for Personal Liberty. For 1 week, let's take a break from Obama and politics. This week is all about the most popular and celebrated event in the world, the Super Bowl. And there's a very special lesson in this year's game for all of us to study, learn, and implement in our lives. John and Jim Harbaugh are American idols. They just became the biggest story on the biggest stage in sports history. Two brothers who rose quickly to the top of their demanding, high-profile profession, the NFL. Two brothers who now face off in the biggest event in the world, literally. Over 1 billion people across the globe will be watching as these two brothers who grew up sharing the same bedroom fight for victory in the Super Bowl. What a story. And because of the made-for-television drama of two brothers fighting for the famous Lombardi Trophy, this will undoubtedly become the most watched program in the history of America. There's a gigantic lesson to be learned. The lesson is the importance of enthusiasm. It could not come at a better time for Americans experiencing this horrible Obama economy. The reports on debt, taxes, unemployment, and foreclosures are dismal. Look at the news report. Our economy contracted in the fourth quarter. That's the bad news. But there's also good news. What's happening around you is not as important as what's happening inside your head. In the first Great Depression, amidst all that pain and wreckage, there were fabulous success stories. It was the greatest wealth transfer in world history, and a select few made a fortune. They did great. And what was their secret? It's an attitude that enables anyone to make the impossible possible, to surmount any challenge. Few people have it. Many on the left disparage it. They think it's low class, it's beneath them. It's enthusiasm. Exhibit A is the Harbaugh brothers. John and Jim are just a year apart. They spent their childhood sleeping inches apart in the same bedroom. Today, they're NFL head coaches of the Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers. What are the odds? 1 in a million? Well, the odds before today were 0, because in the 93-year history of the NFL, it had never happened before. At least not before PHE, the pre-Harbaugh era. But enthusiasm sells. The Harbaugh brothers grew up with one saying on their minds every second of every day: live each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. That saying was drummed into their heads daily by their football coach dad, Jack Harbaugh. Years later, in 2011, they found each other coaching two of the best teams in the NFL, and remarkably, facing each other on national TV on Thanksgiving night. That competition excited America so much, that game became the most watched cable TV show in the history of Thanksgiving. But that was just a warm-up for this Sunday. Jim and John Harbaugh will be leading their teams onto the field on Super Bowl Sunday. They're the two coaches left standing out of 32 NFL teams. They'll be playing each other for the greatest prize in all of sports. And the foundation of all that success: hard work and enthusiasm, drummed into their heads by Jack Harbaugh, their dad. The first Coach Harbaugh understood that enthusiasm is contagious. Now it's led to his two sons beating out every other coach in football to reach the promised land. 99% of all coaches, by the way, no matter how good they are, will never make a Super Bowl in their entire career. And these two brothers made it in the same year. Enthusiasm works in any field. Barry Goldwater is a great example. He's the father of conservatism in America. Yet he lost the 1964 presidential election by a landslide. Ronald Reagan, on the other hand, took Goldwater's exact philosophy, but spread it with tremendous enthusiasm, great communication skills, and a big smile. Exact same philosophy, exact same agenda. Reagan won the presidency in 2 landslides. Enthusiasm was the difference. There were many great generals in World War II, but only one instantly comes to mind today: General George S. Patton. He exuded confidence and enthusiasm. He inspired his men to win battles. And they've since made Broadway plays, books, and movies about the legend of Patton. Can enthusiasm promote religion? Well, ask Billy Graham, the most enthusiastic preacher ever. He traveled America with his evangelical Billy Graham crusades in the 1950s. Millions came out to see him, but almost all of those were what you might call country people. When Billy Graham announced he was going to preach evangelical Christianity in the middle of New York City, the critics laughed. They predicted his show would close in a day like a failed Broadway play. Graham was undeterred. He went ahead with his plans with unmatched enthusiasm. Well, the results? Over 2 million New Yorkers came out to see Billy Graham preach at Madison Square Garden, an all-time record. Graham's revival in New York City was extended. Enthusiasm even sold evangelical Christianity in the middle of cynical New York. Soon thereafter, speaking of cynical, Hollywood came calling. NBC offered Billy Graham $5 million in 1957 to host a television variety show. His lifetime audience now stands At 2.2 billion people, and over 15 million of them have come to the top of the stage and taken Jesus as their savior. No preacher in history has reached more people than Billy Graham. There have been many fitness gurus over the years, but only one godfather of fitness, Jack LaLanne. His TV show ran from 1951 to 85. He opened the nation's first chain of gyms. He sold millions of juicers on TV. At the age of 54, he beat a 21-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger in a bodybuilding competition. And LaLanne celebrated his 70th birthday by pulling 70 people through San Francisco Harbor in 70 rowboats in his teeth, locked in his teeth. At the age of 95, he wrote his last book, 7 Decades, as one of the great stars in America. What makes all these legends successful? What makes them leaders? The answer is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm makes people want to follow you anywhere, even through hell. Ask Patton about that. On Sunday, February 3rd, sit back, enjoy, watch John and Jim Harbaugh work their magic. They are the greatest family coaching duo in the history of world sports. And while you're watching, just think of the brilliant words that made it all possible. Live each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. I'm Wayne Allen Root for PersonalLiberty.com. Enjoy the Super Bowl. God bless America, and God bless football. See you next week.